On the 6th day of the military training at the start of school, Edwin gave a bottle of water to his female friend. This time, I didn't cry again and calmly brought up the breakup, just because of a bottle of water. Edwin scoffed. Alright then, this time remember to make the breakup last a few more days, so I can have some peace and quiet, his brother teased. Take it easy with the teasing. Your girlfriend is so cute, what if some senior sweeps her off her feet? Edwin shook his head. She's just too delicate. She makes a fuss over every little thing with me. Back then, her family had arranged for her to study abroad, but she insisted on being placed in an unpopular major just to attend the same school as me. Being able to hold a cold war with me for 3 days is already her limit. I fell silent. I've liked him for 7 years, followed him to the same university, which almost defined my entire youth, but what he doesn't know is, you can let go of the wrong person, and you can also redo the wrong university. I've already started the withdrawal process, applied to universities abroad, and I'll leave as soon as my visa arrives. Edwin, I really won't chase after you anymore. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful stories every day. Now the story begins. After saying we should break up, Edwin was the first to block me. When his female friend Nicola called, I was still deleting photos. Hand too quick, instinctively hit the answer button. On the video, a group of people were sitting in a private room having a meal, very lively. Rose with that temper. Are you sure that even after you blocked her, she'd still beg you to add her back? Aren't you afraid that this time they might really give up on you? Hearing the friend's question, Edwin shook his head with a smile and took a sip of beer. You don't understand. Rose can't live without me. She's been slow-witted since she was a child. Her family had already arranged for her to study abroad, but she insisted on being assigned to an unpopular major just to attend the same school as me. He said with certainty, being able to hold a cold war with me for more than 3 days is already her limit. After that, she'll come running back to me, all eager and excited. Nicola, wearing a crop top. Nicola sat to the side, intimately putting an arm around his shoulder. She teased, wow. Our Edwin is quite the ladies' man. The boys teased, take it easy on her. Man, your girlfriend is so cute, and it's just the start of the semester. Who knows, maybe some senior will sweep her off her feet. Edwin curled his lips and said nonchalantly, even better, let me have some peace and quiet. Maybe she'll learn to behave when she realizes no one else is as good as me. Another guy teased, Edwin is tough. If I had a sweet little girlfriend like that, I'd treat her like a queen. Not to mention blocking her. Edwin, upon hearing this, for some reason, he sighed. I'm just a bit annoyed. During the 6 days of military training, I cried 4 times, and each time it was because of Nicola. She was uncomfortable because of her period, so I just brought her a bottle of water, but she wouldn't listen to anything and started arguing with me again. How can someone be that fussy? Nicola shrugged and said understandingly, it's fine, if she doesn't like me. I'll just keep my distance from you in the future, as long as you two stop arguing. Don't worry, buddy, I won't put you in a tough spot. The guys immediately spoke up in her defense. Rose does have a bit of a temper. Could it be jealousy between girls? Our Nicola may have a somewhat masculine personality, but her figure and face are top-notch. While Rose is cute, but cuteness is nothing compared to sexiness. You know, Nicola hadn't spoken yet. Edwin frowned. Don't say that. Rose is my girlfriend. Nicola is my best friend. Both of them are very important to me. I never really intended to break up with Rose. I just wanted to temper her personality a bit. Crybaby like that. Even a god would be annoyed to death. I couldn't listen any longer. I silently hung up the phone. My mood completely hit rock bottom. Coincidentally, the small cake I ordered for delivery arrived. Holding the cake, I ate it while unable to hold back my tears, bitter and sweet. I grew up with Edwin as childhood sweethearts, from innocent playmates to falling in love. Over a decade of time, sticking to him has almost become a habit of mine. But this time, I really wanted to end it. It wasn't at all like what he said. I would still go find him. Soon, my mom called. Rose, you said you want to drop out and go abroad. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. My mom asked again. What about Edwin? Didn't Rose only want to go to school with him? Long-distance relationships are no small matter. You need to think it through carefully. It was better not to ask. As soon as I did, my nose started to sting again. I struggled to explain that we had already broken up. Finally, I said, I'm sorry, Mom, but I've only just realized that I can't, for Edwin, accept a school and major I don't like at all. I want to walk my own path now, not just for anyone. After my mother heard this, she was unexpectedly somewhat relieved. Rose has grown up. She said, I originally thought that as long as you were happy, that was all that mattered. But now it seems that it's Edwin who's missed out on his good fortune. School abroad doesn't start until next month, and the offer is still valid. Don't worry, there's plenty of time. Mom will get your visa sorted out as soon as possible. More, sweetie. I wiped away my tears and smiled. More. I composed myself. I packed up everything Edwin had given me, taking it downstairs to throw it away. Just as I stepped out of the dormitory building, I happened to run into Edwin bringing Nicola back. Nicola was hanging on him, still laughing and playing around. Just a case of beer. Your dad can still go another 300 rounds with you. Edwin, do you admit defeat? Edwin was also smiling at first. He paused when he saw me. Quietly, he pulled Nicola away from him. He probably thought I would get jealous and make a scene like I used to. I cried and argued with him for a long time. But this time, I just walked past holding the box. There was no reaction at all. Edwin looked teasing and raised his hand to stop me. Ancestor, you can throw away everything else, but you have to keep the small wooden carving. I spent a whole month carving that before. If I have to carve another one for you, my hands will be ruined. I looked at him expressionlessly. You're overthinking it. I wouldn't ask an ex for gifts. Edwin smiled faintly and nodded. All right. As long as you don't regret it. I turned around. Nicola grabbed me. Rose, don't get the wrong idea. I drank a bit too much tonight, so I had Edwin bring me back. We're really just good buddies. Nothing else. How about this? Just treat me as a guy, okay? A guy. I flared up. Having a guy buy you sanitary pads, having a guy play couple-themed heroes with you, having a guy run errands to buy you milk tea every day. Do you have a gender identity disorder? If you're sick, go get treated. If you keep disgusting me like this, I swear I'll slap you. Nicola froze. She forced out a dry laugh, her face showing an expression that was both awkward and aggrieved. I didn't know you'd mind such a small thing. All right, then I'll apologize to you, Saw. Edwin pursed his lips and pulled her over abruptly. Don't apologize to her. Still acting like a princess even in college. Spoiled rotten. Throw it if you want. I won't get her a new one even if you do. I didn't waste any time. I quickly walked to the trash can and threw the item in with a thud. Returned to the dorm. I plunged headfirst into the bed and fell asleep in exhaustion and disappointment. I had many scattered dreams. All of them were about Edwin, at 5 years old. Because an adult said, "This child is really chubby." As someone who cares about looks, I burst into tears on the spot. Edwin jumped down from the dining chair, ran over, and hugged me. It's okay, Rose is super cute. I like Rose the most, little sister. He gave my cheek a big, smacking kiss. Amid the laughter of the adults, I stared at him, dazedly stopping my tears. From innocent childhood words to the awakening of first love, Edwin and I grew up accompanying each other. More than a decade passed in the blink of an eye. He always said, cry baby, who else could ever spoil you like I do? I always thought he would be my forever. Until the year we were divided into different classes in senior high, Nicola appeared, completely different from me. Nicola is the bad girl in everyone's eyes. She is wild and flamboyant, with half of her short hair braided. She sucks on a lollipop, claiming she's quitting smoking. I can't remember Edwin how many exceptions he made for her. I only remember him saying, don't be fooled by Nicola's usually carefree demeanor. She actually cries in private quite often. Her family background is troubled. Her father used to beat her frequently. I always feel like she and I are the same kind of person. Both of us are the type who desperately long for liberation deep inside. It was like meeting an old friend at first sight. They started riding motorcycles together, skateboarding together, and trying all kinds of thrilling extreme sports. And Edwin would bring her along when tutoring me, helping her improve her grades as well. Every time I went on a date with Edwin, he would always be called away by her for various reasons. I couldn't help but get angry. Can you stop hanging out with her? I don't like her. Edwin looked bewildered. We were playing games you couldn't join. I only kept you away because I was worried you'd get hurt. Don't be mad next time. I'll definitely play with you. Later, whenever I cried, it gave him a headache, so he simply went off to play with Nicola to his heart's content, then lazily came back with a cake to coax me. Have you cried enough? Crybaby. No one knew. I broke up with Edwin not just because of a bottle of water. On the second day of military training, everyone was exhausted and went to bed early. Edwin sneaked out with Nicola to go street racing and didn't come back all night. We had just finished arguing then. So I called him countless times, but he didn't answer, until I came across a local video showing someone had a motorcycle accident. I panicked. That night, in the early hours, when I rushed to the overpass in my pajamas, I was so flustered. I opened the car door and fell out before the car had even come to a complete stop. I tumbled awkwardly several times on the road. My calf was scraped with a shocking wound. Looking up, I saw not far away, Edwin holding the frightened Nicola in his arms, comforting her gently. At that moment, I finally grew weary. I thought, so be it. One must accept that nothing is absolutely forever. 2 weeks later, while eating in the cafeteria, I received the news that my visa application had been approved. Mom said the passport is already on its way. If nothing goes wrong, I can leave in 3 days. At this moment, Edwin and Nicola walked into the cafeteria together. As luck would have it, he was sitting not far in front of me. Nicola proudly, in a girlfriend-like manner, tossed all the food she didn't like into Edwin's plate. Edwin ate absent-mindedly, yet his gaze kept sweeping in my direction. It seems like he's waiting for me to take the initiative to break the ice. It's been 2 weeks, and I haven't contacted Edwin even once. When we run into each other, I just treat him like air. This time was no different. I picked up my tray and got up to leave directly. A photo of me eating in the cafeteria at night was posted on the confession wall. Someone wanted to know if I had a boyfriend. I commented, no. After a while, Edwin's account replied below, getting bold, baby, saying you don't have a boyfriend, because I don't use it much. I just remembered we haven't deleted our Facebook yet. Edwin sent a private message, it's been 2 weeks, and you're still sour over a bottle of water. Our little princess sure has grown a temper. Tell me, do you miss me? Just after making up my mind to break up, I really can't stop thinking about Edwin. But now, I can face him with some composure. Without saying much, I replied, what's up? If nothing, I'll delete it. Fine, delete it then, Edwin said in a relaxed tone, thinking I just needed an excuse to back down. Then how about having a meal together tomorrow? I won't bring Nicola along. The National Day holiday is coming up soon, and we'll have to go home together then. You can't avoid seeing me altogether, can you? Be good, Rose. Listen to me. Even now, Edwin still thinks I'm just throwing a tantrum. It's just that this time it's lasted a bit longer. In the past, he would have coaxed me with just a few words. I might just go along with it. I'm easy to placate. But that only applies when I don't want to break up. Without replying again, I blocked and deleted all of Edwin's contacts. Not even the phone number was left. The next day, Edwin cornered me in the cafeteria. Got some nerve now, Rose. I've already taken you out of the blacklist long ago. You didn't even notice. So what are you making a fuss about? He looked at me with a smile in his eyes and reached out to grab my phone. Hurry up and add your husband back. I slapped his hand away and raised my voice. Hasn't anyone told you to stay away from your ex's life? No, Edwin curled his lips. My experience tells me that staying a little further away would make someone puff up like a steamed bun. This time I was genuinely amused to the point of laughter. I turned to leave, but Edwin pressed me down to sit on the chair. Alright, enough fooling around. You've got to try the salted duck I went all the way to buy for you. I saw you eating alone yesterday, and it really made me feel uneasy. Without me, you don't even have anyone to talk to at this school. By the way, have you booked your flight home for the holiday? Me, I booked it a long time ago, just not a flight home, that's all. Then show me the flight details later. I'll buy a seat next to you. Before I could speak, Nicola's angry voice rang out, Edwin, didn't you tell me you had something important to do? Sometimes I really doubt it. Edwin has a tracker on his phone installed by Nicola, otherwise. How could this person always show up so precisely to interrupt my conversation with Edwin? Edwin raised an eyebrow and glanced at her. Yeah, keeping your girlfriend happy is important. Nicola, however, didn't joke around with him as usual. That's it. Then do you know that I waited all day for your reply? Just so I wouldn't disturb you. Edwin paused and remained silent. Nicola stared at him intently. In a disappointed tone, she said, I knew it. Yes. Coaxing your girlfriend is more important than me, your friend. But can't we at least eat together? Can't I help you coax him? Is there a need to hide it from me? If you don't want to hang out with me anymore, just say it straight. Edwin, Nicola, am not the kind to cling desperately. After saying that, Nicola threw the meal tray, turned around and left. That posture, if you didn't know better, you'd think she was the main wife and I was the mistress. I'm really speechless. Go after them. I can eat by myself. There's no need to get angry at the food. Once you go abroad, you won't be able to eat the food from our homeland anymore. Edwin seemed to think I was jealous again and said with a smile, so generous, then I'll really go for it. He leaned in, teasingly examining my expression. I said indifferently, if you want to go, then go. What does it have to do with me? He didn't get the reaction he expected. Edwin was taken aback for a moment. He then sighed and continued. You always think I can't see things clearly, but the truth is, I just feel sorry for her, which is why I take a little extra care of her. No girl willingly becomes a bad girl. You've never lacked love, so you wouldn't understand. But even if you don't lack love, I still love you. Understand? I ignored him. Focusing on eating the salted duck, Edwin looked on with relief. Thinking that I had already been appeased, he took a picture of me with my head down, eating. Casually edited a new WeChat Moments post. Lost count of how many times I've successfully coaxed the little jealous one. Early the next morning, I'm going to get the stamped withdrawal application. After receiving the school leaving notice, there's still a lot to do next. The phone keeps beeping with notifications. It's Edwin talking to me through the transfer notes on Alipay. Transfer 520 yuan. Lazy pig, are you awake yet? Transfer 520 yuan. Why haven't you unblocked me yet? Forgot. Transfer 520 yuan. I didn't sleep all last night. I'm so tired. Looking at those dense transfer notifications, I thought to myself, should I still tell him, after more than a decade of feelings, we can part on good terms? But I quickly dismissed the idea. Nicola posted on Moments. Last night, the speed was too high, and I ended up in the hospital with honor. Someone was so worried that they might have to stay on campus during the National Day holiday. Chuckle / chuckle. She posted 3 pictures. One was of salted duck placed on the small hospital bed table. One was from a Princess Carrie perspective, Edwin's strong arms holding her by the knees. There's another one, showing Edwin dozing off leaning against the foot of the bed. Nicola's bandaged leg was casually draped over him, the sole of her foot just barely pressing against his sensitive area. So that's why he said he didn't sleep at all last night. It was because of this. I scrolled through the comments below with an expressionless face. My heart, which had been calm for so long, began to ache with a sharp, throbbing pain once more. Not that simple. I feel like there's more than just brotherly love between you two. So addictive to watch. The guy is handsome and the girl is beautiful. Nicola is still too authoritative. I heard he only applied to N University because of you. Is that true? Nicola replied below. It's true, actually. His scores could have gotten him into a better school, but that one was too far away, so he dragged his girlfriend and her whole family along to attend this university. It's especially hilarious. Damn, Nicola is practically a succubus. 666. I begged the succubus to start a class. An indescribable bitterness enveloped me. I only realized it now. Edwin applied to this university, also because of Nicola. Then what am I, a clown? I turned off my phone and continued packing. Even though it was painful, I didn't shed another tear. We had already broken up. I won't allow myself to cry for him anymore. It was quite late when Edwin came to see me with some desserts. Eat quickly. I have something to do later. I came now just to tell you to cancel the flight ticket you bought as soon as possible. I've thought it over carefully. Since it's only for a few days anyway, there's no need to go back. We can just have fun here instead. Seeing my expression change, Edwin pondered for a moment. He smiled. What's wrong? Who upset you again? I said, Edwin, we've already broken up. Don't come looking for me anymore. Okay, let's split them. Edwin had no choice but to laugh as he took the macarons out of the packaging. I really can't with you. Anyway, just refund the ticket first. I'm not joking with you. Don't call me later asking why I didn't come back. I haven't seen you much since we started fighting. And if you leave me for another 7 days, I'm afraid you, the crybaby, might turn dark. He tried to stuff the macaron into my mouth. I stepped back expressionlessly. I said, we've already broken up, so whether it's 7 days or a year apart, it has nothing to do with me. I don't care, understand? Edwin looked at me, his expression gradually fading. Oh, so it's still not resolved. I really don't get it. What are you so angry about? He rarely showed a look of annoyance. You clearly can't do without me, yet you insist on being stubborn with me. Is it because I've spoiled you too much, Rose, that you've become so willful? I raised my voice. Is it willful to not want to stay here with you? You clearly stayed at school for Nicola. Is it fun to lie to me, Edwin? I don't care who you want to accompany. Just don't come to me with all that high-sounding talk anymore. It disgusts me. Edwin closed his eyes, as if finally exhausted. He casually threw the dessert bag on the ground. Yes, there is a reason related to Nicola. But be honest, if your close friend was injured and had no one to take care of her, wouldn't you stay with her? If I hadn't neglected her that day just to comfort you, she wouldn't have gone off to race out of anger in the first place. Shouldn't I take care of her? There's no such Rose, and fighting over jealousy should be kept in check. Besides, this is my responsibility to begin with. He made that impatient and pained expression again. Please, I'm begging you, stop arguing with me about all these pointless things. I'm really tired. I didn't want to say another word to him either. Okay, fine. Do you have anything else to say? If not, I'm going back to sleep. I turned around and headed back to the dorm. Edwin took a deep breath and shouted from behind, Rose, it's not fun anymore if you overdo it. I've said what I needed to say. Whether you refund the ticket or not, I won't be coaxing you this time. Think it over carefully. If you keep giving me the cold shoulder for another 7 days, don't cry when my relationship with her gets better. Hearing his final threat, I was also a bit annoyed inside. Edwin was just certain that I couldn't live without him. Which is why he brought up Nicola to threaten me. But I'm about to go abroad. Who still cares about him and Nicola? The next day, as soon as it hit 7 o'clock, I took a taxi to the airport, 2 suitcases, each weighing 20 kilograms. Before, it was always Edwin who helped me carry them. I used to think I couldn't live without him, but now I realize that many things can actually be done alone. Without Edwin, I'll be just fine. There are still 20 minutes until the flight. An unfamiliar number called in. It was Edwin borrowing a friend's phone to call me. Ancestor, come down to the dorm, I brought you breakfast. The school cafeteria is closed for the holiday. If you don't come down soon, I won't be responsible if you go hungry. I'm not in the dorm, I replied dismissively. Where are you then? At the airport. Edwin fell silent for a moment. Rose, did you really listen to what I said yesterday? I did. I need to get along better with Nicola. Wish you 99. Edwin laughed in frustration. He said through gritted teeth. Okay, sure, absolutely. I promise, Rose, if I try to coax you again, I'm a dog. I remained silent. His friend's voice came from the other side. Your girlfriend is really being impossibly difficult. Don't wait, Edwin. Nicola is still hungry at the hospital and asked you to bring her some soup dumplings. Edwin said okay. Before hanging up, I added, Edwin, if you call me again, I'll consider changing this number. Edwin let out a scoff. Who cares? After a 10-hour flight, I landed in the UK. There was so much to do in the new environment. I was so busy that I hardly had time to worry about anything else. It took several days before I was truly settled in. Opening WeChat. My Moments feed was almost flooded by Nicola. She posted many photos, and in each one, Edwin was present. As time went on, the two appeared increasingly intimate in the photos. I even saw a picture of Edwin lying next to Nicola sleeping. Showing his profile. Damn Edwin, if you're tired, you just take over a patient's bed. I am a woman after all, angry. I stared at the picture in a daze for a long time. No matter how close Edwin was to Nicola before, it wouldn't be this intimate either. Thinking of his words, don't cry when I get along better with her, probably knowing that I haven't deleted Nicola's WeChat yet, so he's doing it recklessly to show me. Nicola, there are comments from mutual friends expressing confusion under the post. But wait, Edwin has a girlfriend, doesn't he? This doesn't seem right, Nicola replied. What are you barking about? We broke up ages ago. Keep being sarcastic and I'll block you. I saw it and just laughed it off. With a tap of my finger, I deleted Nicola. In the time that followed, I changed my phone number and all my social media accounts, gradually blending into the circle of my new school. 2 weeks had passed. And my mom called me. Her tone sounded quite exasperated. Honey, didn't you tell Edwin you were going abroad? He's been searching for you like crazy. I was taken aback. What's wrong? That guy is really something. It's been a week since the holiday ended, and he just realized you never went back to school. He couldn't get in touch with you, so he thought something had happened to you and went to the police. Later, he found out from the school that you had dropped out. He took a flight back overnight and came to the house to ask if you were planning to retake the exams. I told him you went abroad to study, but he absolutely refused to believe it, saying you never mentioned it to him. I didn't bother entertaining him and just let him go. But now he shows up at the door every day begging to see you. He gets so emotional he even cries. I'm really fed up. Rose, you need to have a proper talk with him. I'm speechless. To keep Mom from being disturbed by Edwin any longer, I still logged into my old account, just as I had taken Edwin's WeChat out of the blacklist. His video call came through. In just a few days, Edwin had completely changed his appearance. He looked utterly dejected, holding a cigarette between his fingers as he smoked, eyes filled with red veins, as if I hadn't slept well for several nights. So, what's the situation now? Seeing the daytime background outside the window behind me, Edwin finally believed that I was no longer in the country. Where have you been running off to? I calmly met his gaze. Edwin, I've told you several times that we've broken up. I don't need to report my study abroad plans to an ex, so stop harassing my mom. Edwin laughed, taking a drag of his cigarette, laughing and laughing, his eyes reddened. A bottle of water. Just because of a bottle of water, you're making such a fuss with me. So what? Is there a problem? Oh my God, oh dear. My God, Edwin cried and laughed at the same time. How can there be such a person in the world? I just can't figure it out. You were desperate to get into the same school as me back then, and now you're telling me that just because I gave someone a bottle of water, you're dropping out and going abroad without even saying a word to me from start to finish. Is that how you treat people, Rose? I'm telling you, I don't accept it. I absolutely don't accept it, me. But you agreed to break up too. That time doesn't count. I thought you were just being stubborn with me like before, so I agreed. What you think has nothing to do with me. I don't accept his explanation either. Edwin, just like you got tired of me crying, I'm tired of crying for you over and over again. I've reached my limit. Edwin froze. When did I ever say I was tired of you crying? I let out a cold laugh. What? Have you forgotten what you said yourself? That day Nicola video called me but didn't say anything, so I assumed it was an accidental touch. But I heard every word you said in the private room clearly. Crybaby. Even a deity would be annoyed to death by you. Edwin panicked. That was just a joke. If I were really annoyed by you, I wouldn't have made up with you again and again. I'm used to you making a fuss with me, and I tolerate whatever you do. But this time, why did you take it seriously? Rose, I really don't understand. You didn't reach out to me for 2 weeks before, and honestly, it really upset me. I kept hoping every day that you would take the initiative to contact me. Wasn't that how we always were before? Why would you think I was annoying you? When I found out you hadn't returned to school, I almost went crazy. I was terrified something had happened to you, afraid you were in some kind of accident. I kept calling all our friends, asking about your whereabouts. I never imagined you would just fucking leave without a second thought, and go abroad. Rose, how could you be so heartless? Edwin had red eyes, tears streaming down his face. I was so irritated. I didn't want to look anymore. Have you said enough? If you have nothing to do, go talk to your good friend. I'm going to eat. Edwin let out a bitter laugh. You're still holding a grudge against Nicola. It shows you still care about me. Right, me. Don't block me. This is my final bottom line, Edwin said hoarsely. Don't make me fly over to find you. Rose, ridiculous. I hung up the video call speechlessly. I believe Edwin would really do something like that. It's just a WeChat contact, so I'll keep it. Anyway, I've set it to do not disturb, and I won't reply anymore, for 3 days in a row. I've been flaunting delicious food in my moments. My mom noticed something was off and curiously asked me who cooked the dishes. I vaguely told her it was a male roommate, also an international student. One night, because I wasn't used to the food abroad, I was so hungry that I secretly whimpered in the living room. My roommate with messy hair opened the door impatiently. With a handsome face that looked annoyed, he made me a bowl of tomato and egg noodles in the kitchen. I even drank up all the soup. After that, he would always call me over whenever he cooked. His name is Galen, and now we're meal buddies. My mom chuckled with a hee-hee. After class, I went to the supermarket to buy some pork ribs, planning to have my roommate stew them. Just as I reached the bottom of the stairs, I saw Edwin waiting there. Edwin was holding a cake in his hand. I think carefully, aside from my mom, I haven't told anyone where I live. He might have figured out the exact location from photos on my social media. Edwin looked deeply at my face and said, "You've lost weight." I choked up. I didn't have the heart to tell him that I've actually gained 1 pound from my roommate feeding me these past few days. I know you don't want to see me, but I still wanted to come. Edwin took out his phone and showed me the chat history on the screen. I've already cut ties with Nicola. Can you forgive me now? So then, I said, there's no chance for us anymore. Don't bother me again. Edwin slumped down again, looking utterly dejected. I'm begging you, don't talk to me like this. With reddened eyes, he grabbed my hand, his voice hoarse. Hit me, slap me as many times as you want. Just don't break up with me as long as it makes you feel better. I was truly fed up and shoved him away forcefully. I even threw that cake far away in the process. What's the point of saying all this now? Where were you earlier, Edwin? You repeatedly told Nicola that I'm a princess, that I cry too easily, but you know perfectly well that I was spoiled growing up. I've never had to endure much hardship in my life. Yet because of you, I've cried countless times. In the end, it was still because I couldn't bear to lose you that I begged you to make up. You once said you were afraid I wouldn't get into a good school, so even though your scores could have gotten you into a better one, you still chose a university that I could get into. Do you know how happy I was back then? I wanted nothing more than to stay with you, only to find out later that you chose N university because of Nicola. You're really something, playing both sides so well that you made me, your girlfriend, look like a joke. Edwin's pupils dilated in shock. He opened his mouth but said nothing. On the second day of military training, we had a fight. I told myself not to make a big deal out of it. But you avoided me and didn't answer my calls. In the end, it was your roommate who told me that you went biking with Nicola. That night, I cried my eyes out, worried sick, and even scraped my leg falling on the road. And you, what were you doing? You were holding Nicola, comforting her. Edwin shook his head, completely broken. I'm sorry, Rose. I'm really sorry. I didn't know. I didn't hear it at the time. Nicola was frightened again. He still wanted to come closer. I ran out of patience and slapped him directly. Edwin stood there in tears, stunned. You say you don't know, but you're actually enjoying it, aren't you? You get to righteously claim she's just a buddy. Righteously get close to her. After all, you don't have to take responsibility. Don't tell me you don't know how over the top her social media posts are. Edwin, you're truly disgusting. I turned to leave. Edwin held on to me desperately. I swear, I never liked her, not even a little bit. Those photos on my social media were just to make you jealous, Rose. Our relationship of over 10 years. I really can't let it go. I won't have any contact with other women from now on. I'll never let you feel wronged again. I beg you, Don't break up, I beg you. Now, Edwin was crying uncontrollably, completely losing his composure. There was no trace left of the former elegant nobleman. I couldn't shake him off, so I simply stood there and cursed at him for another 10 minutes, until Galen, wearing an apron, came downstairs with a dark expression. Eat, if you don't come up soon, I won't even leave you the chicken bones. I'm busy right now. So I told him to take the ribs upstairs first. Galen, not eating again. I went through a lot of trouble to make the passion fruit durian shaved ice and the turkey noodles with crispy fried chicken you wanted, and now you're not going to eat. I thought about it, and indeed, this isn't very good, so I still decided to go up and eat. Edwin still wouldn't let go. Rose, who is he? Galen walked over and pushed him aside, rolling his eyes. What a pitiful sight, acting out some tragic drama. With academic commitments, Edwin won't be staying with me for long, but he still comes to see me every weekend. He doesn't do anything special, just stands silently downstairs waiting. Every time I see Galen and me appearing together, he would look the other person up and down disdainfully and sneer, so many flies. Galen is holding groceries. He nudged me. He's calling you shit. You know, me. Edwin is pestering me so frequently. I started considering moving out. I missed the school dormitory application earlier, which is why I had to rent a place near the school, but it seems like a dorm room has recently become available. After finding out, my meal buddy roommate didn't say a word, silently chopping meat on the counter with thunderous noise. We didn't speak to each other the entire day. In the end, Galen still came over with a sour face and asked me, "Want to eat some spicy hot pot?" I'm a bit embarrassed, so I said, "No, I'm on a diet lately." Galen thought seriously, "Then should I make a low-fat version for you?" Alas, I said okay. Eating a clear broth malatang. Galen said, "That ex of yours, if he comes again, I can help deal with it. No need to move away just because of him." Me, how would you deal with it? Galen snorted and didn't say anything. I don't know exactly what method he used. However, Edwin did indeed not show up for a month. Only his phone messages kept coming, stubbornly and futilely sharing his daily life with me. Another month had passed. I deleted him, because I accepted Edwin's confession. Edwin came to find me again. It was 8 o'clock in the evening. Galen are having a barbecue on the living room balcony. The mood was just right when Galen suddenly moved closer, looking awkward. He asked if he could kiss me. The phone buzzed once. It was a text message from an unknown number. "Don't kiss him. Don't kiss him, don't kiss him, don't kiss him, don't kiss him, don't kiss him. Please." I knew who it was. I glanced downstairs. But I also want to completely say goodbye to my first love and step into a new relationship. I heard that night. Edwin was caught in the rain all night. He fell ill after returning to his home country. I also heard that Nicola was speeding on the highway late at night multiple times because of Edwin. She ended up breaking her leg. Edwin didn't even go to see her once. During winter break, Galen and I returned to our home country. I took the person home to let my mom have a look, but my mom only noticed my plump cheeks and chuckled. "This time you really look like a rose." Galen looked incredibly proud. At the dinner table, my mom brought up Edwin. He said he'll be going on an exchange program to the UK in his sophomore year, and the school isn't far from you. I shrugged, not paying much attention. At most, I'll just tell him which Chinese restaurants are the best. The rest is impossible. Why dwell on the past? It only adds unnecessary worries. One must look forward. "What are you thinking about?" Galen smiled very kindly. He whispered sinisterly in my ear. "I guarantee he won't get to see you even once." I warned. "Galen, you are not allowed to act recklessly again." Galen snorted. He must be up to no good in his mind. "Don't say it. This style of conversation is more enjoyable." End. Story 2. The young master posted a thread on the campus forum. "My girlfriend has a temper, so I'm looking for a personal assistant to buy meals, pick up packages, and keep her happy. Monthly salary, 100,000. As soon as the post went up, girls from the entire school rushed to apply. Some were after the money, while others aimed to get close and eventually take her place. When it was my turn, Hardy squinted his eyes, looking somewhat weary. "Will you serve diligently and work hard without complaint? Oh, and one more thing, don't you dare have any other intentions toward me." I agreed, but later, on the night I announced my relationship, he cornered me against the wall again, asking word by word, "Is he richer than me? Does he treat you better than I do? Is that why you want to be with him?" Hardy prepaid me 3 months' salary in advance, a total of 300,000. He didn't even blink. He just said to me, "I've asked around. Your family situation is special. Take these for now." He was right. My parents passed away early, and I was raised by my grandmother. But not long ago, my grandmother was in a car accident and is still in the hospital. The daily medical expenses are like a heavy stone weighing on me. I pursed my lips. "Thank you. I will definitely do this job well. He raised an eyebrow, his tone casual and flippant. Of course, Susie is practically my ancestor. Take good care of her, and you won't be short on benefits. I nodded. Okay. To be honest, I never expected this opportunity to fall into my lap. After all, I'm not very outgoing, and I barely stand out in class, of course. I only found out later from Susie that Hardy's exact words were, he said, "This girl is average looking, has average popularity, and seems pretty honest, kind of like those ancient maidservants. Someone like her can actually put up with your terrible temper." So, from that day on, I served Susie with unwavering devotion. With just one call from her, I would come running at a moment's notice. In less than 2 months, I had lost a noticeable amount of weight. She had a fiery temper and would often call me stupid in a fit of anger. When her emotions ran high, she would even slap me in public. After my roommate Bess found out, she felt a bit indignant on my behalf. "This money doesn't seem easy to earn. She doesn't even treat you like a human being." I really envy Susie, who can make Hardy pour his heart out to her just by having a pretty face. I've actually heard some stories about Hardy and Susie. They were high school classmates. Susie came from an average family background. After they got together, Hardy covered all of Susie's tuition and living expenses. When they went to college, she didn't want to live in the dormitory, so he specially bought her an apartment in the complex across the street. It can be said that Susie's temper is half the result of Hardy's spoiling. At this point, Bess suddenly turned my face and took a look. "Clara, go put on some makeup and comb your bangs up. Definitely prettier than Susie. Find a rich second-generation boyfriend, then you won't have to suffer like this." Of course, I don't think this is suffering. That's 300,000. I've never seen so much money in my life. If I have any wish right now, it must be that I hope Hardy and Susie, the perfect couple, can stay together happily. But the next day, I received terrible news. They had a fight. Susie smashed everything in the apartment. Then she called me over, "Clean this up, and then make me something to eat." I hurried to do it. Halfway through, my phone rang. I open it. Hardy sent me a message. "Are you at her place? How is she?" I glanced at Susie not far away. She had just taken a shower and was now sitting on the sofa with a face mask on, watching a popular idol drama on the tablet in front of her. I pondered for a moment, replied to him, "How about you try comforting her? I hope they can make up, otherwise, I might be at risk of losing my job at any time." Unless Hardy's next girlfriend is also this fussy and needs someone to run around serving her. Hardy didn't reply to me again. I waited for about 20 more minutes, and the porridge I was cooking was ready. I scooped it up and was just about to take it to the dining table. Susie suddenly stood up from the sofa, ran past me, and bumped into me. The bowl broke, and all the porridge spilled onto my wrist. "It's too hot." I couldn't help but hiss in pain. Susie glanced at me. "Oh, why are you so careless? Clean up yourself. I need to change clothes. Hardy will be here soon." With that, she entered the room. I endured the pain, crouching on the ground to clean up the mess bit by bit. About 10 minutes later, the doorbell rang. Susie had changed into a pure white dress and put on light makeup, looking like a princess, and I was the princess's maid, standing dusty in the corner. Waiting for her next instruction, the door opened, and I saw Hardy. Every time he saw Susie, he would bring her gifts, all kinds of jewelry, handbags, and roses. Each one was so expensive it made your jaw drop. Tonight was no exception. Susie glanced at the luxury item in his hand and snorted. "You finally decided to show up." Hardy stood at the doorway coaxing her, chuckling softly as he leaned in to kiss her cheek. "Of course, no matter what, I can't let you stay upset, right?" His tone was very gentle, quite different from the usual Hardy at school. I had seen Hardy a long time ago. I heard that his family was not only wealthy but also very influential. He was always surrounded by a crowd, with friends all around him. At the very beginning of my freshman year, I actually had a very brief encounter with him. I was working part-time at a KTV back then, a place where you meet all kinds of people. Someone grabbed me and insisted I have a drink. It was Hardy who stepped in front of me and said coldly, "Picking on a young girl, are you even a man?" I never expected him to be so submissive when facing Susie. Before long, Hardy walked in. Susie spoke upon seeing me. "You can go back now, we don't need you here." With that, she linked arms with Hardy, rested her head on his shoulder, and pointed to the food on the nearby table. "I made all of this. How does it look?" "Pretty good, right?" I stood there, gently pinching the palm of my hand. In fact, I've gotten used to it. Over the past 2 months, Susie has had me knit scarves, make desserts, and write love letters. And in the end, in front of Hardy, all of this would be credited as if she had done it herself. Hardy looked up, his gaze falling on the table of food. He patted Susie's hair. Not bad." At that moment, I felt a bit like a third wheel, like an overly bright light bulb. "I won't disturb you two anymore. I'll head back to school first. Susie couldn't wait for me to leave. I nodded, then walked past them. Halfway through, Hardy suddenly spoke up and called out to me. He said, "Hey, you, wait downstairs. I'll take you back." Susie was taken aback, a bit annoyed. "What do you mean? Aren't you staying with me?" Hardy coaxed her. "I still have some things to do, be good. I'll take you for seafood tomorrow." Susie gave Hardy a reproachful look, then stood on tiptoe, leaned close to the man's ear, and whispered to him. I tactfully went downstairs first. After waiting for about 20 minutes, Hardy finally came downstairs. His collar was slightly open, and there was a small red mark on his neck, a bit suggestive. I only glanced at it before looking away. After getting in the car, Hardy sent a few more messages to Susie. After sending them, he put down his phone, then turned his head and glanced at my wrist, raising an eyebrow slightly. "I noticed it earlier. Tell me, what happened?" I froze. He actually noticed. But I can't just tell him that this is the good work your girlfriend did. He wouldn't believe me, and he wouldn't take my side. "I might even lose this job," I said. "It's nothing, just accidentally burned." Hardy didn't press further. He sighed. "I'll take you to the hospital. Hospitals are such expensive places. With my current financial situation, I simply can't afford it." I quickly spoke up. No need." Hardy frowned slightly. I waved my hand in front of him. "Really, it doesn't hurt. There's no need to go. Let's just head back to school. Tomorrow I still have to buy breakfast for Miss Susie. Susie is a very picky person. She loves the soup dumplings from that shop on Jiangning Road and the red date glutinous rice porridge from Swayan Street, and both of these places are quite a distance from the school. Every morning, I have to get up at least an hour early just to satisfy this young lady's appetite." I heard that Hardy used to do this himself. Hearing this, Hardy narrowed his eyes. After a long while, he said, "All right then." With that, he took out his phone and tapped on the screen a few times. "I transferred some money to you. Go buy some ointment when you get back." I took a look. $20,000. This injury was totally worth it. All the way. Hardy's phone kept ringing. He casually opened it and listened to a few messages. The last message was from a man. His voice was a bit deep, tinged with laughter. "Is that little rascal of yours having a birthday next month? How are you planning to celebrate this year? I'll help you out, buddy." Hardy tutted. "Of course we'll go all out. By the way, I asked Susie to bring her friends along. See if any catch your eye. Louis, you're 22 now. It's time to start dating. Soon." We arrived at the school gate. I got out of the car and walked toward the entrance. But before I had taken more than a few steps, a voice came from behind me. His tone was slow and unhurried. "These days, you've worked hard. If you ever face any difficulties in the future, you can tell me directly." I was stunned. I am 20 years old this year. To survive, I've washed dishes in restaurants, delivered takeout, and worked as a hotel front desk clerk, grinding day after day until I was almost numb. I've seen all kinds of employers, but never one as kind-hearted as him. I didn't turn around. "Okay, thank you." The next afternoon, I went to the hospital. I paid the fees and spent some time chatting with my grandmother. She was speaking a bit unclearly, but I understood. She was asking, "Clara, where did you get the money to hire such an expensive caregiver for Grandma?" I said, "Don't worry, there are many kind people, and everyone has been helping me." After saying that, I received a call from Susie. "Bring me a jacket." Immediately after, she sent over an address. It was a bar. I quickly agreed. When I arrived, I realized Hardy was also there. They were sitting together, playing dice. Susie took the coat and casually said to me, "Find a seat yourself." I said okay. Then I found a place to sit down. Just then, the counselor sent a message asking me to go to her office. I stood up, walked over to Susie, and prepared to let her know, but before I could speak, everything suddenly went pitch black. The power went out, the crowd panicked instantly, and I was nearly knocked over in the crush. Just then, a hand steadied me firmly. He held my hand and led me away from the crowd. His grip was surprisingly strong. I tried to speak several times, wanting him to let go, but it was too noisy around us. He couldn't hear me at all. After what felt like a long time, the man finally released his grip. He pulled me into his arms, crouched down, and brushed his nose against my forehead. "Were you scared?" I was stunned for a moment before finding my voice again. "Hardy." Just then, the light above my head turned on. The man looked at me, quickly released his grip, and took a step back. His gaze was inscrutable, and it took him a long while to speak. "I'm sorry. You've mistaken me for someone else." I nodded. "It's all right. I understand. I often spend time with Susie, and over time, my clothes have picked up the scent of the perfume she usually wears. What's even more coincidental is that, a few days ago, Susie got bangs cut, but she looks much better with this hairstyle than I do." I quickly left the bar. After that, Susie intentionally showed off her affection in front of me several more times. Whatever she wanted, Hardy would go to great lengths to get it for her. She said, "Don't we make a perfect match?" I nodded. "Yes," Susie snorted, "until one time. After I visited my grandmother in the hospital and came out, I happened to run into them. Seeing me, Hardy instinctively spoke up, "Here to see your grandmother. Is she doing better?" At these words, Susie's expression changed slightly. "You seem to know quite a bit about her affairs." Hardy didn't catch the odd tone. "Of course, anyone sent to your side, I'd definitely look into thoroughly." But that night, Susie coldly asked me to open the chat page between me and Hardy. There was actually nothing much on it, apart from money transfers. There were just some things he mentioned about Susie. After reading it, she handed the phone back to me. Time passed bit by bit. Finally, she spoke. "Clara, delete Hardy's WeChat. I'll explain things on his end." I remained silent for a moment, then deleted Hardy's WeChat right in front of her. She looked at me. "That's more like it. You two were never from the same world to begin with." "Yes, if it weren't for Susie. Hardy will never know my name in this lifetime." For a long time after that, whenever Hardy was present, Susie would no longer call me. I only met Hardy in private once. That day, I went to pick up a package for Susie. She bought a lot, and I had to make several trips. By the last one, my arms were sore, and a thin layer of sweat had formed on my body. I didn't notice on the way, but 2 packages fell to the ground. Just as I was about to pick them up, someone crouched down and picked them up for me. The man glanced at the name on the package and said, "Go back to school, I'll take it to her." I shook my head. "No need, I'll do it myself." He glanced up, giving me a casual look. Then he spoke. "Did you delete my WeChat?" My hand trembled, and the package almost slipped again. Susie didn't she say she would explain for me? But obviously, Hardy just mentioned it casually, saying, "It's fine, since you're working for Susie, whether you add me or not doesn't matter." He glanced at my forehead, then at my trembling hand, his voice lowering. "As for what happened that day, don't take it to heart. Don't be afraid of me either. I'm a pretty good boss. As long as you take good care of Susie, I won't deduct your pay or let you lose this job. Maybe it's been too long since I drank water. My throat is a bit dry and terribly itchy." I opened my mouth, and my voice came out a little hoarse. I understand," I replied. Soon, it was Susie's birthday. Hardy kept his word and spread the invitations everywhere. Of course, even so, the threshold for attending the banquet was very high. Hardy sent me one as well. This time, Susie spoke with great generosity. "Let's go and join in the fun together." The night before the banquet began, she specifically created a group chat. The group consisted of all her close female friends. I've met a few of them. They're all quite beautiful and come from wealthy families. I heard their conversation. "The Nelson family's guy is here this time too. You should really seize this opportunity. If he takes a liking to you, that would truly be like soaring to the top. But I heard he's never been in a relationship before. Would he even be interested in us?" Susie smiled. "Don't worry, Hardy will help you. Besides, if he doesn't like rich girls like you, would he possibly like my little sidekick?" At these words, the girls all laughed. Actually, I've taken a good look at her. With some proper dressing up, she could be quite a beauty. Come on, she's just a country bumpkin. It suddenly occurred to me, that phone call I overheard while sitting in Hardy's car that day. Hardy's buddy. I hope he has better taste and doesn't fall for these kinds of women. So-called high society daughters are actually nothing special. On the day of the birthday party, I went with Susie. The venue was a villa. It was also Hardy's home. It's very spacious here. And he has arranged it with great care. Just the gifts he alone sent are lined up in several rows. I figured there wouldn't be a need for me for the time being, so I was about to find a random spot to sit down. But suddenly, a cry of surprise erupted in the venue. "My bracelet is missing." It was Susie. Tears streaming down her face. She threw herself into Hardy's arms. "You just gave this to me, and I only wore it for a little while." Hardy's expression slowly turned cold. My heart was pounding fiercely. I felt my own pocket. There was indeed a bracelet. It seems Susie had planned all along to embarrass me today, even though this move was actually very clumsy and cliched. Finally, Susie reached out and pointed at me. I was too tired earlier and had been sitting here all along. Only Clara came over to talk to me. Actually, it's not just because of that, it's also because I'm poor. People around were whispering among themselves. "I heard this is someone young master hired to take care of his girlfriend, 100,000 a month, and still not satisfied, she even stole something. Yeah, she looks shabby." It wasn't me. I heard my own voice, trembling slightly. Hardy's gaze fell on me, no longer gentle, but with a hint of scrutiny. He said, "If it's you, just hand it over, and we'll let it go. The thing is, I really could produce it." Just then, someone stepped out from the crowd, brushed past me, and quietly took the bracelet from my hand, clasping it in their own palm. He laughed, his tone lazy. "Isn't it right here? thrown behind the flower pot. I picked it up, a whole group of you. Bullying a little girl, isn't that a bit too much? Hardy was stunned, glanced at me, his gaze somewhat heavy. After a long while, he finally laughed. Louis, you're late. 3 drinks as punishment. Louis, so he is the one Susie's friends have been waiting for, with such a farce unfolding. It was impossible for me to stay any longer. I looked at Susie, who was being showered with attention not far away, then walked out of the villa and sent her 2 messages. Thank you for providing me with this job, it really helped me a lot. So, if you want to fire me, you can just say it directly. Why use such methods and make things awkward for both of us? As of today, I have worked for you exactly 3 months. We're even. Grandma's condition has stabilized. That money is enough to support her until she's discharged from the hospital. As for the future, I'll just take on a few more part-time jobs. It wasn't until the next day that I received Susie's reply. Yeah. Without the identity of a sidekick, I returned to my previous life. I found several part-time jobs. Apart from attending classes, I was hardly ever at school. We were never from the same world to begin with, so I never saw Hardy or the others again, but I heard that Hardy posted something online again, still looking for an assistant for Susie. The monthly salary is as high as 150,000. Countless girls apply for the position every day. Roommate Bess also went. Back then, Hardy's comment about me, she knew it too, so this time, she followed my example, specifically got bangs, went barefaced, and made herself look very honest, simple, and hardworking. Who wouldn't want 150,000 a month? After coming back, she said, you know what, Hardy added me on WeChat. I had taken on a freelance job online, helping someone make a PowerPoint. Hearing this, I casually asked, did he decide to hire you? I'm not sure, but before me, Hardy looked impatient and had a cold expression when he met those other girls. But when it was my turn, he pointed at the bag I was carrying and asked where it was from. I said my roommate gave it to me. He stared at the bag for a long time, then suddenly smiled and told me to add him on WeChat. Could it be that he likes this bag too? Where did you buy it? Clara, I'll get one too. I froze. This bag, I lent it to Bess. It was originally bought for me by Hardy. That was my first month by Susie's side. She lost her temper and smashed my bag. Hardy happened to be there, and within a few days, he had someone send one over to me. He said, this bag is to make up for it. Take it, it's not worth much. Since he said so, I believed him. After all, there wasn't even a brand on it, and I had never seen a similar bag at Susie's place. But now, after hearing Bess's words, as if guided by some unseen force, I searched for it online. Only then did I realize that this bag was actually custom-made. In the whole world, there is only this one. That night, lying in bed, the dormitory lights were turned off. I received Bess's message. Hardy just messaged me. I passed the interview. My hand paused on the screen. Congratulations. I hope Susie can improve her temper a bit and not treat Bess the way she treats me. I also made a new friend. Through a senior student, I got a part-time job as an English tutor. The pay is quite high. I only need to go for 2 hours every day. This job makes me feel very secure. The child is called Julius, who seems obedient but is actually quite mischievous. However, it's clear that he really looks up to his older brother. He always says, my brother is amazing. Right after graduation, he started his own business and is really wealthy. Lots of pretty girls like him. My brother is also very handsome, but it's a shame he doesn't fancy any of them. Julius lives in a villa district where every inch of land is worth its weight in gold. It's clear that his family background must be either wealthy or noble. According to the nanny here, this house was bought by his brother himself. Julius is in his rebellious phase and refuses to return to the Nelson family's old mansion, so he just lounges around the villa all day. This Mr. Louis went on a business trip some time ago. Even the interview with me was not attended by him. From start to finish, I only met his assistant. Julius said, how about this? Clara, I'll introduce you to my brother. You can be his girlfriend. I laughed. Hurry up and do the problem. He wouldn't let it go and immediately took out his phone to make a call. Brother, when are you coming back? I want to introduce you to a girlfriend. It's that tutor you found for me. She has such a good temper and is really patient. There was a moment of silence on the other end. Your brother already has a girl he likes. So don't bother with this. With that, Mr. Louis immediately hung up the phone. Julius tched, you don't recognize a good person's heart. I didn't take it to heart. A few days later, while I was explaining a problem to Julius, the doorbell rang. Julius hurried to open the door. Brother, I stood up and, through the living room lights and the luxurious carpet, got a clear view of the person who had arrived. When he saw me, he also paused for a moment. Since last time, I've been wanting to find a chance to thank him, but I was afraid of disturbing him. I never expected to run into him here. His eyes were dark and seemed somewhat serious when he wasn't smiling. But when he looked at someone intently, it gave the illusion of gentleness. He said, "It's you." After that, because of this job, I gradually became more familiar with Louis. At the very beginning, he actually rarely returned to the villa. I didn't get to see him much either, but as time went on, he seemed less busy, and every time I came over for those few hours, he was always home. When it was over, he would even personally drive me back to school. He said, "I saw it that day. It was Susie who slipped the bracelet into your pocket, that's why he helped me." I've already told Hardy about this, but he's a bit stubborn, unwilling to give up until he hits a wall. Once he falls for someone, it's hard for him to let go. I said, "Oh, I've known about this for a long time. He really likes her." Actually, during this time, I've also run into Hardy a few times at school. There are still many people around him. I always steer clear whenever I run into them. Bess told me. This Susie is so hard to please. Hardy, what on earth does he see in her? Did you know, they've been on the verge of breaking up lately? I faintly heard your name mentioned before, but it was from a distance, so I didn't quite catch what they were saying. But, Clara, you've become so much prettier now. Even more beautiful than Susie. Some time ago, Louis had a business event and was short of a female companion. He asked me to go with him and offered to pay me for it. He had someone specially style me. After it was done, he stared at me for a long time. Looks good. I thought it was nice too. Besides, the internship is coming up soon, and to land a decent job, I should put more effort into this aspect. After complaining to me, Bess pointed at the bag on the table again. Desserts from Jade Pavilion, very expensive. Hardy told me to bring them back to share with my roommates. Gotta say, he's really generous. I took a glance, didn't reach for it. I've been eating too many sweets lately and I'm a bit tired of them, so I won't have any more. Julius is young and loves sweets. Every time I go over, he gives me quite a few, and I'm really getting tired of eating them. But it's strange to say, Bess has been working as Susie's assistant during this time, and Hardy often has her bring things to share with the roommates. Milk tea, desserts, and even jewelry. He wasn't like this before. Hardy and Susie really broke up. The specific reason is unknown to anyone. I heard that after their big fight, Hardy gave Susie a sum of money, and besides that apartment, he also gave her another house. It was like a breakup settlement. Susie cried for a long time in the apartment, then turned around and found another boyfriend. Hardy said nothing after he found out, Bess said in the dorm group chat, but luckily, before they broke up, I made some money from them. "Come on, I'll treat you all to a big meal." I had just come out of Nelson's house, so I went there on the way. Halfway through the meal, I stepped out to take a phone call. Turning around, I saw Hardy standing behind me. His complexion looked abnormal, and red rashes had appeared on his arms. He stared at me and called my name. "Clara." I said. He tilted his head and smiled, with a meaningful look. "Long time no see." As he spoke, he pursed his lips and walked toward me, but somehow, his body suddenly leaned forward, and he fell right onto me. I just realized his body was burning up. He spoke, his breath warm against my neck, his voice very low. "Sorry, I think I'm having an allergic reaction." This guy, I had no other choice. So I quickly helped him downstairs, hailed a taxi, and took him to the hospital. Only after everything was settled did I finally breathe a sigh of relief. Hardy lay on the hospital bed. Sunlight streamed in through the window, and he looked at me quietly. After a long while, he opened his lips. "I misunderstood you that day. I've been wanting to find a chance to apologize, but every time you see me, it's like I'm a stranger. You've changed a lot. It's a good thing." I said, "It's fine. I don't blame you. On the contrary, if it weren't for him, my life now would surely be much harder. We're not exactly familiar with each other, and with no one else around at the moment." I really didn't know what to say. "The doctor said you're allergic to mangoes, so remember not to eat them in the future." He nodded. "Yeah, I know. I just suddenly wanted to try and see if the allergy hurts more, or if heartbreak hurts more." I was at a loss for words. I never realized before, but he turned out to be a madman. I said, "I'm leaving. You can call someone else to take care of you." There was a long silence behind me, and the man remained quiet. It wasn't until I reached the door of the ward that he finally spoke. 10,000 a day. Take care of me until I'm discharged. How about that? Hardy asked me to follow his Instagram. I didn't add him. I gave him my phone number. I don't have time to check IG messages. Just call me directly if there's anything. Hearing this, Hardy's expression darkened, his gaze becoming obscure and unreadable, but he really had no energy, so he didn't dwell on the matter. All right then. Hardy usually appears aloof and carries the air of a spoiled young master, but in reality, he's quite easy to please. Whatever I make, he eats. For the rest, I don't have to do anything, just keep him company and chat. That's when I found out Hardy and Susie broke up because he saw Susie's chat history on her phone. She and her friends call me a deadbeat follower, an ugly girl, and a poor wretch in the group chat. Hardy previously arranged a job for Susie's brother, who graduated from a vocational school, but a while ago, her brother made a mistake at work, causing Hardy's friend to lose several million. All these losses have to be compensated by Hardy, but Susie is still not satisfied. She wants Hardy to pay for a house in the city center for the family parents. Everything piled up at once. Hardy was tired. Hardy took a sip of the porridge in front of him. She wasn't like this before. She was hardworking and resilient. I don't know when she became so mean and unreasonable. It's actually my fault. I raised her too high with money and power. I stayed silent for a while. People change. It's her choice. And it has nothing to do with you. Hardy was taken aback. He slowed down his pace of eating the porridge. That night, Hardy developed a low fever, and I stayed by his side the entire night. At dawn, I received Louis's call and went out. When I returned, I saw Hardy staring blankly at something in his hand. I approached. Noticing my return, he quickly hid his hands behind his back. I didn't pay it much mind. I'm heading back first. What do you want for lunch? He named 2 dishes. I got into the taxi and, looking at my phone screen, noticed my hair was a bit messy. Just as I was about to tie it up, I saw that my wrist was bare. The hair tie was gone. Probably dropped it in some corner by accident. On the 5th day, Hardy was completely free of the rash. The doctor said he could be discharged from the hospital. Hearing that, I breathed a sigh of relief. I'll go help you with the discharge procedures. I stood up. Hardy, but he grabbed my wrist firmly. I'm not done yet. I found it strange. How could that be? The doctor said you. Hardy stared intently at my face and stubbornly repeated, I'm not feeling well. Just wait 2 more days. Only 2 days. Since he said so, I could only nod. Okay, if the young master wants to stay in the hospital, then let him stay. Just in time, I can earn 2 more days' wages. But the news of his hospitalization still spread. The next day, when I went again and stood outside the door, I saw the room was packed with people, including Louis. I saw the table piled high with all kinds of kanji. I thought for a moment and sent him a message. I have something to do. I won't be coming today. What is it? Something came up at the coffee shop. Senior is looking for me. At the coffee shop where I work part-time, there happens to be a senior who's in the same major as me. Just yesterday, this senior Sue called me, and it happened to be Hardy who answered. Using this excuse should be very convincing. After sending it, I was about to leave when I heard a crisp sound from inside. Then came Louis's voice. What's going on? Out of nowhere. You just dropped your phone. Hardy remained silent for a long time before replying. His voice sounded a bit muffled. Nothing. I just suddenly feel a bit annoyed with someone. That afternoon when I went again, I noticed that Hardy had already switched to a new phone. I took care of him like that for 2 more days. On the day he was discharged from the hospital, I went to help him with the procedures. He stood by the door and called my name very seriously. Clara. I instinctively turned back. His gaze inadvertently fell on my lips, then quickly shifted away as he smiled. It's nothing. I thought this would be the last time I crossed paths with Hardy, but after that day, he actually started appearing frequently in front of me. I heard that he never used to eat in the school cafeteria, but at some point, he started going every day, and he always sat not far from me. Someone posted on the campus forum. The post was titled, The young master's personality changed drastically after a breakup, shocking appearance in the school cafeteria. Besides that, he also visited his grandmother several times, buying her all sorts of things to make her happy. At first, I didn't know about it. By the time I found out, he had already been going for half a month. I purposely stopped him at the hospital and said, Thank you, but please don't come anymore. He looked down at me and said, I feel a closeness to the elderly lady and wanted to keep her company. Is that not allowed? It might cause misunderstandings, I said. The man leaned against the wall and chuckled softly at the words. Misunderstand what? I was choked up, not knowing how to begin. I couldn't very well say, misunderstand that he's interested in me. Could I? Finally, I could only say, Grandma prefers peace and quiet, so it's better if you don't come as often in the future. Hardy looked at me deeply. After a long while, he finally nodded. Yes, I also encountered Susie at school. She was just like before, unwilling to show me the slightest kindness, until one day when she deliberately bumped into my wrist on the road. She lowered her voice to a volume only they could hear. Clara, you must be feeling quite pleased with yourself now, aren't you? I never expected you to be so cunning, taking advantage of your position to replace me. Her, she delivered her conclusion with a light, dismissive tone, not sure who they're talking about. So cheap. I looked straight at her. I don't have such intentions, and I will never be with Hardy in the future. Perhaps it was my calmness that provoked Susie, as she raised her hand, about to slap me. At that moment, Hardy rushed over. He pulled me over. shielding me behind him, and glared coldly at Susie. Get lost. Susie bit her lip. Do you really like her? Hardy closed his eyes, his throat moving. What's it to you? If you dare bother her again, I'll take back everything I ever gave you. After Susie left, Hardy looked at me nervously. Are you alright? I shook my head. It's nothing. He opened his mouth, about to speak, but I spoke first, as if silently refusing. I have something to do, so I'll go first. That night, I received a friend request. Verifying the message was simple and straightforward. I am Hardy. If he wanted to, there were countless ways for him to get my contact information. After a moment of hesitation, I tapped accept. The next second, his message came through. It was a voice message. I was wearing headphones, and his voice was magnetic, with a bit of a drawl. Let's be friends from now on. After all, we've met. There was actually a hint of pleading in his tone. Half a year ago, I would never have imagined that one day he would speak to me in such a manner. He had helped me before, so in a way, he was something of a benefactor, since we were friends. I couldn't bring myself to refuse. During the summer break, I did an internship at a very well-known design company. I seem to have been constantly busy, but life is becoming more and more promising. Grandma has also been discharged from the hospital. Her health is getting better and better, and she looks full of vitality. Hardy would occasionally come to see her, but he always kept a proper distance, entering the room, putting down what he brought, drinking just a cup of tea, and then leaving. Once, before leaving, he stood at the kitchen door, quietly watching me for a long time, and then spoke. I heard many people are pursuing you. My hand paused while chopping vegetables. He is indeed very well informed. I don't know since when, but suddenly there have been many suitors around me. They also go to great lengths to strike up conversations with me, sending me flowers and gifts. I never accept. Nothing of the sort. Hardy nodded and suddenly smiled. All right then, he said. Just wait a bit longer. The best is yet to come. I slowly lifted my eyes. The kitchen light was a bit dim, making the man's gaze appear obscure and unclear. Oh, at the end of the month, I went to Nelson's house to tutor. At noon, Louis personally cooked, but my phone kept ringing. It's from a suitor. I don't know how he found out my home address, but he stood downstairs holding flowers, making a very extravagant scene. Julius suggested, Clara, why don't you just find a boyfriend? There's one right in front of you, clean background, handsome, can cook, and makes money. As he spoke, he added quite fashionably, and no troublesome white moonlight or first love either. I burst out laughing. As I was leaving, I received a call from Louis. His voice was truly beautiful, just like the first time I sat in Hardy's car and heard it. This time, though, it was gentler and more solemn. He said, seriously, would you consider me? Family background and such are not issues. I'll find a way. If you feel it's not suitable later, you can call it off anytime. 2 months later, we were together. Hardy was on a business trip out of town at that time. He sent me a few messages, but I was too busy to reply. As time went by, he stopped sending them. The last message on the screen was also from him. He said, wait for me to come back. Louis is treating my roommates to a meal. Bess is texting me under the table. Damn, so handsome. So handsome. But your boyfriend's name sounds a bit familiar. Didn't Susie want to introduce her friend to him before? If Susie finds out, she'll be furious. No, I have to post this on Moments. She casually took a photo of the dining table and captioned it, Clara finally has a boyfriend, so happy. After a while, she posted another one. By the way, does Hardy know about this? I always felt, he's a bit different towards you. After reading it, I pursed my lips and then typed. That's not true. I've said it before, I would never have any special feelings for him, even if, a long time ago, I did like him. That evening, I met Hardy downstairs in the residential complex. He was still holding his suitcase, looking at me with a travel-weary expression. His eyes were dark, and there was little mirth on his face. The man got straight to the point. Are you in a relationship? I nodded. Yes. Hardy sneered. He lowered his head and gripped my hand. Is he richer than me? Does he treat you better than I do? Is that why you want to be with him? His gaze was intense. I took a step back. He moved closer to me inch by inch, his expression growing colder. I like you, Clara. I've been chasing after you for so long. Can't you see? I looked at him. But I don't like you, Hardy. I once watched him love another girl with my own eyes. He held her in the palm of his hand, afraid she might get bumped or broken. He gave her all the goodness in the world. Yet still felt it wasn't enough. Hardy smiled slightly. Tell that guy to wait. I'll make him understand he's not worthy of you. He doesn't know yet that my boyfriend is Louis. After saying that, he didn't look at me again and turned to leave. I went home and only then realized that in that single hour, he had called me dozens of times. He also sent many WeChat messages. The next day, when I went to the company, I received many roses and jewelry. A colleague asked, Another gift from that boyfriend of yours. I glanced at the card on it. No, after work, Louis will pick me up. He specially prepared a table full of dishes. Who would have thought that the eldest son of the Nelson family, born into wealth and luxury, would now be willing to cook for someone else? I went in to check Julius's homework. Before long, the faint sound of a doorbell could be heard from outside. Louis opened the door. Louis, we happened to be gathering nearby and thought you'd be home, so we dropped by. Only then did I realize this person must be Louis's friend. After these words fell, it took quite a while before I heard Louis's voice. Not convenient today. You all go back first. The person who just spoke wasn't happy. This isn't like you. Is there someone hidden at home? You don't dare let us see. Louis's voice was cold. Don't talk nonsense. I didn't pay much attention, but the next moment, I heard a tentative voice asking, are you in a relationship? The owner of this voice had just told me the night before that he liked me. Louis didn't hide it either. Yeah, holy crap, you're in a relationship. What does your girlfriend look like? When are you bringing her out to meet us? Hardy, however, remained silent. Is this girlfriend of yours someone I might know too? As soon as the words were spoken, the sound of a fist swinging through the air suddenly came from outside. I heard Hardy's voice, cold as ice. Don't tell me your girlfriend's name is Clara. It was only then that I remembered my coat was still hanging outside, the same one as last night. I rushed out and saw Louis tilt his head slightly, dodging the punch. Hardy, what are you doing? Can't we talk this out properly? Hardy snorted coldly. Talk it out properly, if it weren't for me. Would you even know each other? After saying this, he stared at me intently and sneered. Clara, I knew you earlier than he did. Why, you chose him, but not me. After saying this, he left without looking back. Louis turned his head to comfort me. It's okay. After that day, he continued to introduce me to his friends and bring me into his social circle as usual. Hardy is such a sociable person, but in any situation where Louis might appear, he would definitely not show up again. Gradually, everyone in the circle came to know. The two brothers turned against each other in a fit of rage over a woman. Not long after graduation, I was promoted to a full-time position. Louis specially gathered a group of people to celebrate for me. Halfway through the meal, I went to the restroom. After coming out, I saw a figure outside. He was very tall, smoking at the end of the hallway. He called out to me, Clara, the scarf, the love letter, the porridge, you were the one who did all of it. Weren't you? He smiled. Actually, I could tell back then. She doesn't have your skill, nor can she write the words you write. I looked at him in silence. After a long while, the man stubbed out his cigarette. He looked at me, his expression complex. Louis is way too ruthless in his actions. He used some trick I don't know about, and now my father is sending me abroad. I'm leaving tomorrow. Clara, I came to say goodbye. At that moment, looking at his slightly rolled up sleeves, the wrinkled shirt, and the dark circles under his eyes, I suddenly felt like crying. After a long while, I finally spoke, goodbye.